Modern
motorbikes,
life,
man.
man.
Oh
Mate,
man,
these after work naps here, they hit different. I'm telling you. I don't know what it is. After work, we just lie down on your bed and you're able to just close your eyes.
honestly, man,
Ooh. I don't know, man.
man,
And then when you try and actually sleep at night, and then you're just kept awake by whatever your own imagination and then things. It's like, where was this when I needed to stay up in
yeah. What
crucial
was this
times?
enthusiasm before?
You know,
I'm getting ready to nap.
it's adult life, man. The naps just you don't really get to decide. They just hit you when they hit you. Your body just tells you I need a nap now. It's
Honestly,
crazy. When we were kids, we defied sleeping. We did not want to sleep. We wanted to stay up for as long as possible.
mm-hmm.
Now it's the opposite. I'm trying to get naps when when I can. Jeez.
Man, honestly, I look forward to my sleep, man. Sleep is free. Sleep is free, and it can do you so much good. Honestly, man.
I don't know what it is with sleep where sometimes you have so much to do and sleeping is probably the last thing you should be doing, but you just do it anyway. You just like I'm still gonna sleep though. I'm still
Hmm.
gonna do it. Man. It's crazy, but yes, we are back. Welcome to the lockdown yard. I am Ed.
And I'm Charles.
Sweet, sweet. How's the week been, man? How's the week been?
Yeah, it's been good. Busy, 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 as always. Work is getting a bit. I don't know. I think it's getting a bit quiet. Maybe it was because it was just half term, but yeah, it's picking up now. And looking forward to like chilling in the winter. Just chilling indoors.
Pun intended.
Indeed, always. I'm waiting for that meme.
Oh, which one? The Father Dog one.
Yeah, the Father Doug one.
It's coming, man. I'm waiting for. Right now it's not too cold. It's like I can't see my breath yet. When it gets to that level of cold, then I'm dropping it. I'm dropping the meme. So watch out for it. Watch out. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to staying indoors. I'm actually gonna go to cinema more now. Now that it's getting cold, it's just one of the perfect motives. You just get to sit inside, sit back, relax, enjoy your films. And I've got a backlog, an absolute backlog of films to watch.
Bro, I've got a backlog of a certain franchise that has a new film out. I have not watched a single James Bond since Casino Royale. So
Oh
I need
my
to catch
goodness.
up. I need to catch up pronto. Because I
Oh
hear this one is
Lord.
amazing.
I mean, I've seen every single Daniel Craig film as Bond. I
Hmm.
would say Casino Royale is still my favorite. That's not to say the rest are not good, even though Spectre gets quite a bit of hate. The one
Yeah.
with, I mean, the latest one has Christoph Waltz as well, but Spectre, he was the main villain, and that one gets the most hate out of all of Daniel Craig's films as Bond. So, eh, I'm I'm lukewarm on that one, but yeah, for the most part, I like Daniel Craig as Bond. Casino
Mm.
Royale is still my favorite, closely followed by Skyfall, and the rest are pretty interchangeable depending on my mood, to be honest. But yes, 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 yes. You need to catch up, man. You need to
Yeah.
catch up.
I watched it when it came out. I didn't watch it again, like ever. Like the story is so fuzzy to me now, but I'm definitely gonna have to rewatch it and start all over again.
I mean, I would say one of the unfortunate things about Daniel Craig's Bond is that all the films are quite interlinked. So, unfortunately, if you don't watch them in chronological order, and if you just try and jump in, say, a Skyfall, for example, or Spectre, there'll be a bit of backstory that you've missed out on. There'll be certain things you don't understand. So I'd say, yeah, when you got time, just continue. It goes Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, Spectre, and No Time to Die. So
Okay.
enjoy, man.
All right, man. What's your backlog anyway?
Yeah, I'm just what's in cinema right now. I'm in the Odeon app because I've got Odeon Limitless,
Hmm.
and like I haven't seen Last Night in Soho, which I've heard a lot of good things about.
Oh yeah, I've heard good things about that too.
Yeah, and there was this other film, The French Dispatch, which is another Wes Anderson film. You know, that guy that likes symmetry in every single scene.
Mm-hmm.
The Last Duel, which I've heard is really good, but did terribly at the box office. Like it bombed,
I
but it's
feel like
such a
I've
good
heard
film
about that
apparently.
film. I feel like I've
Yeah,
heard about that.
With Matt Damon, Kylo Ren.
Yeah, rings a bell. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, mate. I saw Harry Potter, Philosopher's Stone or Sorcerer's Stone, depending on where you grew up. I
Mm-hmm.
saw it in the cinema again. It's the 20th. Can you believe it's the 20th anniversary of
Oh
Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone? And it makes sense. 2001.
man, nostalgia must have
Nah,
hit hard.
it's out. Well, I haven't gone to watch it yet, but I'm thinking about it. I think it's only going to be out in cinemas this week. But listen, I've got the Limitless. I might as well. I might as well. The nostalgia's going to be crazy.
Man, it's
Hearing
gonna
that
be mad.
score, oh yeah, I'm gonna relive it.
Seeing that on the big screen again, you'd be like a kid, honestly.
Listen, and I've seen some other random films. Like I've seen My Hero Academia. It's in cinema right now. World Heroes. I don't really follow My Hero Academia, but
You
it's a
should.
lot.
You really should. You would
I
appreciate it.
know, I
You
know,
would appreciate it so much, I can tell.
definitely. But as you can tell, yeah, my backlog is mad. But recently, I have watched a Netflix show called Made, which is it's a good show, man. It's a really well done show. I recommend it. It's just about single mothers' struggles through life with various different issues, homelessness, you know, being broke, and dealing with relationship, domestic violence. But it's such a well done show. It's really good acting. I recommend it, honestly.
I've heard good things about it. Have you? I recently watched one as well. It's called Clickbait.
Clickbait. That's the one I need to watch. I'm into these these Netflix one single season shows where you can just binge them. That's
Yeah,
another one I need to catch up on. I've heard
that's a
noise
very
about
bingeable
Clickbait.
one. I watched it in bits. I watched it. I finished it on my way to work like today, and I did not
Okay.
see the twist happening at all.
I hear you.
At all.
No spoilers then. I will
I'm not
check.
gonna say
How many
nothing.
episodes?
I think it's 8 or 9.
8 or 9. That's doable. That's doable. And I'm guessing it's like no more than 50 minutes or maximum an hour per
Yeah,
episode.
like your normal like 42-minute ones.
Sweet. Yeah, that's bingeable. I'm gonna look into that. I did hear a bit of noise about it, a bit of hype. So
Yeah, it's
yeah,
pretty good. It's pretty good. I didn't feel like it wasted my time at all, and it was very good and well acted as well.
cool, cool, cool,
Yeah.
cool, cool. But yeah, scrolling through the audio app, I've seen obviously there's Venom out, and we haven't really managed to discuss it. And I don't even think we discussed the first Venom. So what are your thoughts on the Venom? Yeah, I was gonna say what are your thoughts on the Venom franchise 1 and 2? First of all, which one do you prefer?
Well, we kind of already touched on it a little bit, but like going on from what I said that time, I would say the first one I took too seriously, and I kind of got disappointed because I expected more from the comic book character.
Mm-hmm.
So I just realized it for now for what it was. Like it was just gonna be an offshoot of Venom. So Tom Hardy's performance, yeah, it's good. It was good. Um, and then knowing that level of understanding with Venom 1, I watched it Venom 2 with like lower expectations, and I just found it enjoyable just to watch. Like it wasn't like my favorite comic book movie of the year, but it was just like, okay, you're doing the sequel, but that post credit though, you got me with that post credit.
Oh yes,
The
it
post
looks
credit,
tasty, Eddie.
yo, I don't know what they're thinking with that, but yeah, they got me with that post credit. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I've got some questions regarding the whole franchise, especially spoiler alert. I mean, come on. If you don't know about the post credit scene by now, then you probably don't care about this franchise. But it's just how it is, man. It's the truth.
All right,
But
fair enough.
the post credit scene obviously finally links the Venom we've scene to Tom Holland's Spider Man. There's a post credit scene with Spider Man and Venom in the same scene. So yeah, we're officially doing that. But going back to would I prefer one or two, or my thoughts on the franchise? Yeah, I agree with you. I remember, in fact, I remember. Do you remember the first one? We saw that one quite late, uncharacteristically late,
Yeah.
but we were hearing some really mixed to bad things about it,
Mm-hmm.
and so
Mm-hmm.
we went in with low expectations. I
Yeah.
remember. I definitely did. Then I watched it. I was like, are my expectations low, or is this enjoyable? I was like, you know what, this isn't that as bad as the the bad noise was making out. So yeah, I had a good time with the first one. I thought main thing, the main thing I loved about it was obviously the chemistry between Tom Hardy and Tom Hardy, aka Eddie Brock and Venom. But
You know what? It felt like a movie that would have felt more suited to like the early 2000s for me,
yeah, it was a
if you get
fitting
what I mean.
perfectly with that era of Tim Burton esque when he was dominating the superhero. You know that's Sam Raimi
Ish,
first gen of
yeah.
Spider Man. Yeah, yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah, because you feel like after Chris Nolan did Batman Begins, all these superhero franchises tried to go towards the grittier, kind of darker stories, and then Marvel kind of brought it back a bit with a mix of that, doing the gritty thing, but also filled with comedy and that kind of thing. So yeah, but I enjoyed that Venom. It didn't take itself too seriously. You know, it was just let's see, Tom Hardy was so talented. He's just crazy talented.
Mm.
Every time I see him and Venom interacting in the scene, I'm just thinking, man, how did they do this? Did they record his voice as Venom and then play it back with Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock reacting, or the other way around, or whatever? It's fascinating, honestly. But
And his voice was like really, really good. Like the way he actually trains his voice to be like Venom is really cool. I think I saw a TikTok on it once. He just showed the interviewer how to do it.
mm,
I can't even try it,
we
and
are Venom.
I'll give it a try because you gave it a try. We are Venom.
See, this ain't fair, man. Every time we do any kind of impression, you know, your impressions are just insane. So I don't even get close.
Wait. So Eddie, because your name is Ed, and we're back.
Jeez, you taking over my dad jokes as well. Yeah, what else do you want, huh? What else do you want from me?
I want that meme. I won that meme yesterday.
Man, I'm telling you. And yeah, the second one I didn't think was as good as the first one. It's still fairly enjoyable, but
Hmm.
I don't know, I just didn't dig as much as the first one. The villain, Carnage, and the crazy guy who Carnage was born from. I didn't really. I mean, it's accurate to how he was formed in the comics. You know, he bit him, and a bit of the symbiote got into him, and but that's how he became Carnage. But ah, I didn't. I didn't find him as intimidating as the villain in the first one. So
Really?
no, no,
He felt more cartoony to you.
a lot more cartoony. It's
Mm.
like,
People were saying that about this film a lot, especially that scene with Venom in the party. But I was just
yeah,
like,
that
yeah, this is what this franchise is. I knew this coming in, so it's not gonna like make me disappointed.
that scene in Venom 2 at the party was when I was like, I don't know, something clicked in my head. It's like, this film's not good. It's not as good as the first one. It's not bad. It's still worthwhile. It was still worth my while,
Hmm.
going and seeing it as part of the whole franchise. But yeah, overall, still prefer Venom 1 over 2.
Mm.
But I'm looking forward. That, as I said, that post credit scene has set it up nicely, and I'm looking forward to the future. Only thing I don't know is what is going to happen, because so far we've seen Venom as a kind of anti-hero, right? But
Yeah,
is he going to just outright be a villain when it comes to linking up with Spider-Man? Because that's been their historic relationship going back to the comics and whatnot.
I don't know, man. I have no idea how these guys are gonna like pull this off. I feel like there's gonna be something to do with the multiverse or something. Maybe he'll be like a side, like not a sidekick, a partner to Spider-Man instead. I don't know. Like, I really want Black Suit Spider-Man, like done properly, or just a different interpretation of what we got in Spider-Man 3.
Mm.
But I don't know if you're gonna get that. I don't see how we're gonna get that with Venom right now.
Yeah, we've had two franchises of him. No, two films so far in his own franchise, basically saving the world
Hmm.
or saving people. And to go from that to being an outright villain would be a bit weird. But
Yeah.
again, that ain't our problem. That's the writer's problem. They go figure it out. So we'll see.
Hmm. Hmm.
We will see.
I am just a consumer. I don't make decisions.
I don't make decisions, mate. I'm just a consumer.
There we go.
Right. So today we are going to be gushing about one of the best directors in the business right now, Mr. Denis Villeneuve. I'm butchering that pronunciation. I've heard so many people pronounce it in different ways, but I'm going to say Denis Villeneuve. And reason we're talking about him is because one of his latest films, you might have heard of it, called Dune, is now in cinemas. And we're just going to take this as a chance to gush a bit over his previous work because we've never really managed to discuss it on this podcast. But this guy's CV is solid.
It's solid
This guy's CV is solid. I mean,
across the board.
yeah, the only piece of Villeneuve's work we've discussed, which actually on the previous episodes, which was Prisoners, we discussed the whole sink scene.
Bro,
It's
I
like,
watched that
tell
again.
me, tell me.
I watched that again. It's like, oh, it's so good. The way he just builds the atmosphere with like random shots and like the color grading and like the soundtrack even, and it was all just good. It just fits so well. And Hugh Jackman's performance. Watch Prisoners, people. Once again,
It's true, man. Well, honestly, Villain, he's known for having the visuals in it. He's really known for being a visual director. You won't walk away from any Villeneuve film and not, no matter what the quality is in terms of the story or plot or anything, you're not going to walk away from any Villeneuve film thinking, yeah, that didn't look that good, or the color grading wasn't that good, or the cinematography wasn't good.
nah,
That
it feels
has
like
always been like one of the staples of his work, and it's amazing to see. We'll get into the details of Dune and whatnot, but what are your favorite pre Dune? What are your
mhm.
favorite Villeneuve films?
All right. So I've mentioned Prisoners, right?
Of course,
Okay.
didn't
I just have
notice.
to make sure that's on there. Okay. And the other one, just because I like the way it looks mostly, the story didn't quite engage me the way I wanted it to, is Blade Runner
Oh, Blade
2049.
Runner! Blade Runner looks so beautiful, man.
It looks like pure cinema, man. Honestly, you had
Li-
to watch that in the cinema.
Listen, the color grading reminded me a lot of Mad Max Fury Road. So there's really dark red scenes, but the difference is this had a lot of contrast in blue color as well. And some of the scenes, honestly, ah, the
Just
holograms. Oh,
I've
jeez.
never been a big fan of neon, but this film turned me around on neon. Like, yeah, it was just amazing to look at. And the framing of the shots as well. Like, you feel like the isolation, you feel the tension when you need to. And there's this thing that Hans does, because it's Hans again. Oh, we got to talk about Hans.
Yep.
Hans Zimmer, yeah? The way he mixes in, like, just the sound of the city with the music, and it blends
Yep.
so
Yep. Yep.
well. You, you can barely even tell if he's. It's just perfect, man. That film is great. That's
Telling
definitely on my
you.
list. Pre Dune.
Yeah, I'd say I agree with you on all those points. One of my favorites, another film called Sicario. Sicario. That film, I don't know if you've seen that one, but it's about the war on drugs along the US and Mexico border, and
Hmm.
I just love how it shot that acting. And there's one particular scene in general where they're stuck in traffic, and I think it's an ambush, or they're confronting a cartel, and the way they lead up to that scene and the action is just immense. From the music, the intensity is just superb, and the casting. Have you seen it? Josh
Who was it?
Brolin,
Josh
Benicio del
Brolin.
Toro. Emily Blunt, who
Emily
by the
Blunt,
way is
yeah.
just immense in everything.
Mm-hmm.
It even had
True.
John Bernthal, and it had
Oh,
our
Punisher.
guy, yeah, and it had our guy
Shane.
Daniel Kaluuya.
Yo. Okay, I need to rewatch this because I think I watched it in the cinema, but wasn't really focusing. I don't know how old I was at the time, but yeah, I wasn't really focusing. But I need to rewatch this, knowing this cast. Damn, that's a good cast.
That is solid, man.
I
It's a
might have
solid
slept on
film.
this film, you know. I'm ashamed to say I might have slept on this film.
I
But you know
think a
what
lot
film
of
I didn't
people have
sleep
been
on?
sleeping on Sicario, but yeah, man, definitely check it out. What film have you been sleeping on?
I haven't been sleeping on this film. I love this film, Arrival.
Arrival, which by the way, Amy Adams should have won an Oscar for, but
She was snubbed. She was snubbed.
she's been snubbed for so many roles. She's tried so many times,
Hmm.
whether it's lead actress or supporting, whatever. But it's a beautiful film. I just love the concept of her being a linguist
Hmm.
and her being, put in charge of communicating with the beings from another world. I just love that concept, but it's so beautifully done with the memories and the score, and
And the
that film
shots.
looks so beautiful. You see those scenes with the clouds.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
This is like another. I guess I keep gushing over like the shots, but like the contrast in some of the shots is just so good. Like the orange jumpsuits against like this black, like not crowdy, cloudy, background facing these aliens. Like it looks great. This film just looks amazing. Even the look of the ships looks great.
See, that's the thing. Going back to what we were saying about Denis Villeneuve films, they just all look great. I think one of his secret weapon is that guy, that cinematographer. What's his name? Richard Deacon. I think it's Richard Deacon. He wins Oscar after Oscar for cinematography, and you can really see why. It's something Deacon. I don't know if I'm getting his name right. Roger Deakins. Roger Deakins.
Ah,
My bad, but yeah,
Roger.
he did the cinematography for Blade Runner, and he did the cinematography for Sicario, and he did it for Prisoners. Surprise, surprise.
Mm.
I don't think he did it for Arrival though, so
And he
I
doesn't
might
need
be
to.
wrong on that.
That's a great solid CV right there, man.
For real, for real. But honestly, all of he just makes all the films look great, and when he links up with Denis Villeneuve, it's just out of this world. Speaking of, let's get on to it, man. Dune.
Okay,
Now, we're gonna be
now
honest about this one.
we are going to be 100% honest because our initial reactions weren't like this was amazing. This was the next Lord of the Rings.
In our defense, well, I was gonna say, in our defense,
Hmm.
we didn't know. I didn't know a thing about Dune.
Nothing about Dune.
It's only after watching it I realized there's quite a bit of lore that it's a book. It's actually been deemed an unfilmable book by many before this, even after the 1980s rendition. Where I don't know, have you seen clips of that? I've seen a few
I've
clips of
seen
it.
I've seen honest trailer of it. It was
Oh wow,
hilarious.
yeah.
It was really bad.
So I've seen clips of it. I had no, idea about the lore of it. I just didn't know anything about Dune, so I just went in and watched it and I had really high expectations of it
Mm,
because of all the
mm.
hype. And I'm ashamed to say on first watch. Now, before we say this, we have seen it more than once. All right, on first watch, I just didn't get it, man. I didn't get the story. I didn't get the hype. It was all quite frankly boring to me because I just didn't get it. And to add to that, I was tired watching it. So once you go a film like that, once you go into a film like that, feeling tired and you just can't get into it, it's a wrap. It's
Mm,
just
mm.
call it a day and give it attempt two. Attempt number two, after doing my a bit of homework on Dune about the lore and actually watching it. It came out on HBO Max, so able to incorporate the subtitles now.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Actually able to understand the story.
Once again with the subtitles with the save.
Yep, 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 indeed. But it was like night and day, night and day. Now I will say this: on first attempt, even though I said I found it boring and didn't really understand it. Again, the cinematography, the soundtrack,
Mm,
Hans Zimmer did bits. The the scenes where there's one particular scene I found just it might be my favorite scene in the film, but when I don't know what it was called, the vehicle that was like processing the spice in the desert got stuck. One
yeah,
of the wires got jammed and they couldn't lift it, and the
yeah. I
sandworm
remember
was
the scene.
closing in. I really love that scene. It's one of my favorites. It's just the how they all seem calm to begin with, and then if something goes wrong, and then you feel the build up of the urgency. And man, honestly, yeah, as I said, first attempt, cinematography, yes, soundtrack, yes, interest, no. Did I understand it? No. Second attempt, this film might just be a masterpiece. Night and day, as I said, and it brought me back to remember when we did the Hateful Eight, and I was talking about in general, films I absolutely hated on the first watch. I was like, what the heck is this? Why is it so hyped up?
Hmm.
Then, you take a bit of time to relax your mind and just clear everything, all your preconceived notions out and have another go and give it a fresh, watch. Just give it another go. And it just
Yeah.
turns out to be somewhat of a masterpiece. So, again, I've added Dune to the list. Dune is on my list of films I hated, but now love.
Okay. Okay. Well, my experience was similar to yours. I watched it after work. My expectations were intrigued, not high. Um, I fell asleep halfway in the film,
Man, look,
but
blame me. It's a
I
long film.
actually didn't miss anything because I kind of pieced together what happened. I didn't miss anything apart from amazing shots when I rewatched it. I noticed, but then I was like, and I was with my friend Jamal. Shout out to Jamal, and we were both like, yeah, that didn't really blow me away. I'm like, yeah, it wasn't bad, but it didn't blow me away. I'm like, yeah. And then
And was that because you didn't understand it, or
I think it was because I didn't understand it. I wanted to understand it, and I've said this on previous episodes. I don't like just visually good films. I knew I was seeing that, but maybe not understanding the film kind of detracted from the overall score going higher. You know what I mean?
hmm,
So yeah, rewatched it at home like you did with subtitles, gang gang, and I loved the film. Like it made much more sense. It made the film a lot more enjoyable to just see it here with subs, understanding it, taking it in. And I think I could watch it again in the cinema, but it's kind of hard to say without subtitles because some of the phrasings they use, it's not like it's hard to hear. I feel like we're not making that clear. It's not like it's hard to hear. It's just some of the terminology of the lore you kind of miss, and it kind of is important
yeah,
to the story.
like the name they gave him, the Kwisatz Haderach,
Yeah,
and those kind of things. I was like,
yeah.
I
In
did
the
not
cinema, I was
catch
like,
that.
"What the fuck did he say?" He got something stuck in his throat. But now, I see the subtitles. And I'm like, "Oh, that actually means something significant."
And honestly, like we've seen Tenet, so we know about all about struggling to hear
Oh
things.
my days! When we do
Tenet,
Tenet
yeah,
on this thing, yeah. Oh my days! The sound is gonna be the absolute grievance,
the
man.
sound, mate. We should do Tenet soon, actually,
Yeah,
because.
we should, man.
But back to Dune. What was your favorite performance and your favorite scene,
Ooh.
or your favorite performances?
Okay, so I don't know much about Timothée Chalamet. I've not really seen him in anything before. I know he's been in a
Yeah,
bunch of stuff,
you know what? I
but
feel like he's one of those actors where I hear he's one of the biggest prospects in the industry. But me personally, I haven't seen too much of his work, and the only thing I've seen him in is Call Me by Your Name, which is he's just amazing in that. But I haven't seen his wider work.
Mm.
So this was the first time he's kind of been brought to the forefront in terms of a big blockbuster type film. So and he's going to be Charlie. No, he's going to be Willy Wonka in an upcoming
Yeah, it's gonna be
Charlie
Willy
and the Chocolate
Wonka.
Factory film.
hmm I thought he was okay. He didn't really blow me away too much. I think it's because of the character he's playing, though. So I guess he did his acting well. I
Mm,
want to see him in other things to see how much range he has, so I know I don't just judge him on this one performance.
yeah.
But for what I've heard, he did the performance pretty well. Um, I don't really think I have a fit. You know what? The most intriguing character to me was like the Baron, like played by Stellan Skarsgård.
Oh
Like
yeah,
his
Baron
design was
Harkonnen.
so weird. It was
Just the way he
so
floated,
disturbing.
man. He
Yeah,
just
he
floated
floated,
and
and it was just like the way he hid when the poison went off from in the ceiling. It reminded me so
yeah,
much of a
that
moth.
was so funny. Yeah. He was just attached to the roof like some just cocoon there. I was like, what the
A
heck?
cockroach in the ceiling.
I won't lie. That scene, I didn't see him on the first watch. I didn't see. I saw they were looking at that corner. I didn't see what the hell. What we staring at? And then on the second watch, had to turn the brightness all the way up. I
Oh, right, you really
was
couldn't
like,
see.
I really could. I was like, what are we looking at? It was
hmm
dark. It was really dark. I was like, what are we looking at? And then second, and obviously I realized in consequent scenes, scenes after that he survived that poison attack, which was another great scene, by the way.
hmm
Um, my favorite performance has to be Jason Momoa. I think. Yeah, I just like that he was not like any of the other characters. Everyone else was just extremely serious and whatnot. He had a balance to that. He was serious when he needed to be, but he was also the relief. You know, not comic relief like Marvel style, but every time he was on screen, you felt like okay, you can kind of ease up a bit. And even when he
hmm
was meeting the Fremen,
Yeah.
when they spat on the table, but then he
Everyone
was like, whoa,
started to
whoa,
like,
whoa,
oh,
whoa,
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 whoa, whoa,
that's
whoa.
that's that's a good thing. They like y'all.
Thank you for the gift of moisture. I return the favor. And the king is just like eyeing him down. And he just spits too.
And
Weird.
Momoa's character was also the Duncan Idaho. He was the MPV of the film. If he didn't, muster up a last bit of strength to self-sacrifice himself to stop that laser from slicing up, the main cast, they wouldn't have gotten
hmm
away.
Yeah,
So
that split second saved, man.
yeah, he was like and then killed the rest. Well, not all the rest, but enough to let them get away. So
hmm
yeah, man, I dug that character a lot. Um, Solid performances all around. To be honest,
Yeah.
there was no one who was like any kind of weak. Who gave any kind of weak performance. I mean, so
Okay, I'm not gonna say it was a weak performance. It was a very brief performance. But my favorite, you know, who I'm gonna say my favorite was actually the one who played Lady Jessica. I think her name is Rebecca
oh,
Ferguson.
Rebecca Ferguson, yeah,
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 the
yeah.
mother. The mother. I felt like her. She acted the hell out of her performance. Like I
Oh, she
felt
was great.
she was
She was
amazing in
great.
this one. Like I felt like she was very protective of Paul, and like I felt like that mother like bond.
Yeah, man,
And
she saved his life. She trained him all his life to be part of the Benny Gesserit and to survive that Gom Jabbar scene. Is it Gom Jabbar or Gom Kabar?
you
Honestly,
know
I need
what?
to.
You're an expert in my eyes, man. And I'm gonna ask you to do something at the end of this too. So you better prepare yourself.
Oh boy, but the scene where basically she was the one of the Benny Gesserit was holding the needle to his neck as a
That scene was
test.
tense. That was actually
Yeah,
very tense. Like that was a very good scene. You didn't even
exactly.
see the stuff that happened, but you
But
just
you see, the shame about that scene was on the first watch, I didn't understand it. Even after she explained, we just want to see. And she said something about an animal. When an animal is trapped, it goes crazy or something. I just didn't understand that on the first
it was
watch.
like a
And
test to like assess his impulse control
yeah, yeah, but it's quite intense because what if he flinched? She would have stabbed his neck with
Yeah.
the. Jeez. Okay.
And fear, I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer or something.
Mm. But I just loved how you saw Rebecca Ferguson, Lady Jess, outside. You know she's trained him all his life for that, but
Mm-hmm.
she was still nervous because it's like you can practice all you want, but when it comes to the real thing, you just never know. I just loved her emotion outside and the soundtrack for that wailing vocal soundtrack that was going on, which is pretty. Na, na, na.
I don't even know how it goes.
Something like that, something like that. But yeah, I appreciate that scene a lot more on the second watch. There's so many good scenes, man. The poison scene, we mentioned that, but it's how it happened.
Mm-hmm.
He just closer. He put his personal shield on, and he leaned in closer. And I forgot his last words. What was it? What were his last words?
I don't even remember.
Oh, Leto Atreides.
Yeah, his last words were bossy, but I can't remember what they were.
And he just breathed out the poison, and he's like, "Yo, gonna die." That guy, what the doctor betrayed him, well, because they had his wife, and I don't know why I laughed at that scene
Why did you laugh
when
at this scene?
when they killed the doctor, because
I knew that scene was coming. It's like, why did you laugh at that scene?
it was funny to me because it's like, oh yeah, I said you gonna see your wife, didn't I?
Oh, for
So I set her free. So be free.
that's,
Slices his neck. I don't know why I just found that scene funny, man. It's just how unmoved the Baron was. He was like, oh, just another day, just killing someone,
I'm sure that reminds you of
Slice his neck.
something.
It does, but I
It
can't put my
reminds
finger
you.
on it.
It reminds you of something or a way that someone acts or reacts to certain things. It's just like an indifference. That's funny. I
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know
like,
what it is though.
it's just what it is.
Mm.
And yeah, man, I love that scene as well. But yeah, favorite performances definitely Jason Momoa and actually Rebecca Ferguson. And I loved the scene when they were kidnapped by the Harkonnens and they were being taken to be dropped in the middle of the desert to their deaths. But then
Hmm.
um, Paul Atreides managed to get them to ungag her because they know that she has the mind control power when she speaks. So that scene was really good. What did you say? Ungag her or
Untag her. The voice
un
design was cool.
yeah. It's like
Untag her.
a clear difference between when they're speaking normally and when they're using the mind control voice. So
Mm-hmm. It's like gotta get the pitch right.
gotta get the pitch right. Yeah, the sign language to communicate. Yeah, that
Mm-hmm.
was. And the sandworms, the
They looked
design.
amazing.
Listen,
Amazing.
the grandeur of the sandworms was just.
Do you know what I've had to compare sandworms to? And I'm not even sandworms, but it just fits my perception of what I saw. Is those Star Wars ones? You know the ones
Yes,
from.
yes, yeah,
It's not even a sandworm, but it just reminded me of
yeah,
that. Man, I outshone that one. It was like this one got caught in 4K. That one was in like 140p or whatever. Man, I don't know. This one hit
man.
different.
And there was that scene, right at the end, where we saw one of the freemen actually riding the sand. Did I see that right? He was riding like he saddled it, and he was riding the sandworm.
Yeah,
That is crazy. I need the
nuts.
sequel. Thank goodness they've announced Dune 2, by the way,
Hmm.
because we need that sequel ASAP.
How did you feel when you first saw part one at the beginning? Because I wasn't
I
expecting that.
felt, what's that thing Malcolm X said? We have been hoodwinked, led astray, run amok. That's how I felt, man. That is how
Again,
all you see is Dune, Dune, Dune on the posters. You go
uh
into
huh.
the film,
It's
Dune,
Dune part
part
one.
one, part one, by the way. It's like, wait, what now?
Oh my days.
And it wasn't even like part one where it gives you a fairly definitive ending to part one. When Dune said it meant part one, as in we're gonna chop it right here. It doesn't make any sense to end it here, but we're gonna chop it here because we do mean it. Part one. Y'all gonna
Mm-hmm.
have to wait for the rest. So luckily, it was commissioned for a part two. But I have an issue with. So you see how Lord of the Rings was essentially shot back to back,
Yeah.
and you can really feel that when you're watching it. The continuity. There's no one's. suddenly changes, they look drastically and whatnot. It's all very seamless from one through to three.
Yeah.
I I just hope that the fact that they're not shooting Dune back to back doesn't suffer from the same thing because
Mm, mm.
honestly, uh, I but I'm very happy there's a part two because can you imagine? Can you imagine if they said, yeah, that's it? They would have been out
No, the biggest letdown ever. Fans have been
ever.
waiting for this, man. I
For
ain't been waiting
real.
for this, but they been waiting for it.
And the unfortunate thing is, Denis Villeneuve said he's not going to be able to start production on this until late 2022.
It means it's gonna come out in 2023.
2024 probably.
Yeesh.
But one of the deal break, I saw something in an article saying one of his deal breakers is so there was this big issue with during the pandemic, films being released both in cinema and on streaming platforms like HBO Max.
Yeah.
And see, this film's already on HBO Max, which is the shame because it deserved a bit more exclusivity in the cinema. But one of his deal breakers is that I don't care what state the world is in, this is going to be in cinemas for this long. And I was like, you know what? Fair enough. Fair enough. Christopher Nolan actually had a similar arrangement on for his next upcoming film, Oppenheimer. So
Mm-hmm.
he said he literally in the agreement he said, not only do I only want this in cinemas for this amount of time, I don't want you releasing any films 3 weeks either side of this film. Now that's power you can't buy. Man, imagine being such a certain director that you can just make these demands. It's like
mm-hmm.
must be good, man. They deserve it though. They've worked to get to those positions. So yeah, looking forward to part two whenever it comes along. Just hope it's not too long. But yeah, you never know with this industry.
Mm,
But
mm. And
honestly,
oh, I wanted to ask you, what did you think of the ads in the film?
the ads.
No, the fragrance ads featuring Zendaya. Bro,
Oh man,
she was barely in this film apart from visions. And when she showed up at the end, what did she do?
she did that thing where, and this has happened in a few other films where she's a big name, but she's not in the film that much. However, because of her name, her following, we're gonna plaster her all over the advertising campaign because it's Zendaya. She can't be in the film, and we don't really show her because she's in the film for 2 minutes.
I was hoping for more. I don't know what, but just more.
You can only assume that she's gonna have a much,
Yeah, I know.
hopefully, a
Yeah,
much bigger
she
role in part two.
she definitely will. But I feel like I feel like exactly that meme you referenced today. I feel hoodwinked, led astray.
Run amok.
Like she's in the poster. She's on the left of the character. She should be featured in the film more.
And you know what's worse about that? The very first shot, and she's in the very first shot in the film. So you think, oh, she's probably going to be in this film a lot. Then she just disappears. You don't see her unless it's a random dream. And then she appears again in person near the end where she's like, I wouldn't have let you hurt my friends. It's like,
Hmm.
oh, I forgot about you.
I'm okay with it in the long run because I feel like it will make sense narratively to because I heard the original one. They rushed a lot. So
Mm.
the relationship that those two are gonna have, if they had rushed it in this film, I feel like it would have repeated like history. So I think part two is gonna be it'll be well balanced compared to what we just got, hopefully.
You know what that reminds me of? And this might be one of the biggest examples of just being in a film for like 5 minutes, figuratively speaking,
Hmm.
and this time it actually won you an Oscar. So what? Actually, I can think of two examples. One is extreme, one's not so much. First one is Moonlight with Mahershala Ali.
Hmm. Hmm.
Have you seen Moonlight?
I have.
He was in that film for like 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it was an impactful 10 minutes, but he ended up winning an Oscar for that, for supporting actor, for best supporting actor. And, congratulations. Very happy for him. I'm a big fan of his work. But,
Mm-hmm.
man, really?
Man, he's shone. He's shone.
hmm, I guess. But yeah, I was just. And the other example was Anne Hathaway in Les Mis. So she was in it for slightly longer than just 10 minutes, but she pretty much won the Oscar for singing that song.
Yeah, she deserved it for that, man.
Yeah, yeah. But I just love how it's, the whole work smarter, not harder. Oh, yeah, I can spend all your 2 hours in the film. I'm just going to do a 10-minute appearance and take my Oscar.
I
That's
wonder
it.
how much she got paid for this one film, though.
Well, it wasn't a massive blockbuster, so it wouldn't have been as much as, what he'll probably be paid for the Blade film whenever that comes out. Remember, he was announced as Blade, and then
Bro, I'm waiting for that. I'm
you've
waiting for
not
that
heard
with
a
all my
thing.
heart. I'm waiting for that with all my heart. I can't wait for that.
He's perfectly made for Blade,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but we haven't heard a thing about it since him actually being announced as Blade. So I don't know if it's actually going to happen, but
Of course it's gonna
we'll
happen.
see.
It's not gonna happen. Come on.
Wait, what do you think of that final fight at the end of Dune, where the girl's like, "I will not have it," or
You've
um,
insulted me, sir. I demand satisfaction. Yeah, basically.
he challenged him to a duel, and then Paul didn't know that in their duels you have to fight to the death. It's like it's not a thing of, "Ha, I got you. Now surrender, yield." He was like, "Yield." It's like,
Ah, it's
oh,
like
the
to the
boy
death,
doesn't know our
son.
rules. Is he toying with him? Oh man. The thing is, he had the drop on him like 3 times. He was just embarrassing him at that point.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was okay. It wasn't the most tense part of the whole film for me, but
Again, that's one bit I found a bit. Well, I found it funny when I shouldn't have. It's just all the shouting. It's like ah, ah, all that to just get stabbed quickly. I'm like,
yeah, it was okay. It was alright.
oh man.
Okay, so I said I was going to ask you to do something near the end of this. We're
Hmm.
still going to discuss it. My challenge to you is to try and describe the plot of this film with as much research as you've done in your own time.
All right, I'll give it a go. Oh, you weren't expecting this reaction, were you? You thought I
No,
was going to be like, "Oh my god!"
I'm rating you, so you go, bro. The mic is yours. Go.
Alright,
I'll put a
alright.
beat down.
But one,
Wah!
what you must remember is I'm gonna ask the same of you for Tenet. you
Oh, oh, god. Oh,
thought you get
damn.
away with it, innit?
Oh,
You thought you were gonna get away. You're gonna go first with the Tenet one. I ain't gonna ask it today, so I'm giving you some grace. You get to do a bit of homework, but you are gonna
bring it
explain that Tenet plot.
on. Bring it on. I'm ready. Let's go. Stop
Good.
stalling. Stop stalling.
I'm
Come
monologuing,
on.
man. I'm just monologuing.
You got me
All right, so the
monologuing,
plot,
son.
the plot, as I understand it, is it's basically House Atreides versus House Harkonnen. House Harkonnen hates House Atreides because they're like, oh, you're, we feel like you're better than us, and you're gonna uproot us and take our power, which we've had for years, because we've been harvesting all this spice on, oh, what's that planet called again? God, how can I forget? Arrakis.
Hey.
So yeah, Arrakis is basically the treasure trove of that universe. It has all that spice which can make you have visions, or it just powers your ships, and it is gold. But House Harkonnen wants it all for themselves. But House Atreides, which is another, it's their competitive rival. They're more noble, they're more legit, I guess, and
Mm-hmm.
the Harkonnens want them gone. But unfortunately for the Harkonnens, they got a secret weapon in Mr. Paul Atreides. He's been trained up all his life to be the chosen one, the Luke Skywalker, if you will. And he will be the reason for the Harkonnens' downfall. So yeah, the whole film is pretty much just the Harkonnens trying to get rid of the Atreides, and they thought they got him. They thought they killed his bloodline, the Duke, Paul Atreides' dad, when they paralyzed him and dumped his wife and son in the desert, the unlivable desert, filled with sandworms and just speedy winds and hard conditions. But nope, they survived and they met people. They've got some more allies now called the Freemen, who are going to help them in the future journey to take down the Harkonnens. How was that? Did it make sense?
Well done. Okay. All right. Okay. Cool. If you feel like that was a succinct explanation of
Wait a
Dune,
minute.
let us know in the comment section below.
Where's yours?
Oh, I'm not doing Tenet today. We're not doing
Oh,
Tenet.
I
We're
know.
doing Dune.
I know.
We're doing Dune, my guy.
Dune where even the actors themselves said they couldn't explain the plot.
You know what? I accept the challenge. On mic, I accept the challenge. I will make it my homework tonight to try and understand
Good
Tenet.
luck.
I'm gonna sleep first though. But I'm gonna get on that next.
Alright. Ooh, it's Eternals week. Yes.
Watching that on Sunday, bro.
Sunday. Wait, what happened to you? You used to be a release day guy.
You know what happened, bro?
The world happened to you.
My lack of sleep. I need the rest.
I hear you. You know, you're not trying to do like a late night viewing or when you've had a nap after work or.
You know what? Nah, because I'm gonna watch it with my boy. I'm gonna stick to Sunday because that's the day we can all do. Shout out Shaq and Jamal. We're gonna watch it on Sunday, bro.
Alright then. Let's hear it. Let's hear your Dune wrap up. Your Dune plot.
Wait, am I doing that?
Do you mean are you Dune that?
You're so dumb.
I had to fit that one in somewhere, man. You seen the meme going around? People have been making that joke
No.
since the film came out. You not seen a poster of Joey saying how you Dune?
I'm done. Nah.
Oh man.
Oh no, I'm not doing this today. I think you did a perfect subsumption of that, man. That was fine.
Alright. Your Tenet one is still pending.
Yeah, when we do
We
it,
shall revisit that another time.
mm-hmm.
Until then, we are